Welcome back. Lots still to come in the next hour, including Lord of the Rings star Dominic Monaghan, whose journey from Middle-earth has dropped him all over this earth. See why later.
Now, though, following our last legal advice clinic with family law expert Marilyn Stowe, it became clear that the casualties of divorce, in many cases, are children.
We asked if you had any queries regarding child maintenance and child support, and the response was massive.
It's massive.
So many. So we start with Georgia.
I think she's on the phone, actually. Georgina, I think it's Georgina.
Oh, Georgina,
are you on the
sorry,
phone, Georgina?
Hello.
Hiya.
Hello.
Right, so you split with your child's biological father when you were around 8 weeks pregnant.
Yes.
No contact whatsoever. You've been with your current partner since you were 5 months pregnant, and this is with the same child, and he's virtually raised the child with you as his own. Your child calls him Dad.
Yes.
So what's the problem?
Recently, he sent me a letter going to mediation.
This is your ex-partner, yeah?
This is the biological father.
Yeah.
And mediation wasn't successful due to I don't want him having any access at all because of his lifestyle choices. Since then, the mediator has told me that he can take it to court. And my question basically is, if he does take it to court, what rights does he have? What rights do I have? And what is the likely outcome?
OK. Well, two things occur to me here, Georgina. The first is, have you thought about applying to adopt your child with your partner? Has that occurred to you? Because
well,
that's one way of dealing with this.
I thought we'd have to be married first.
No. If you're in a settled relationship and if the child has been living with you for 6 months, you can apply to adopt. So that's certainly something, I mean, obviously I don't know all your circumstances, but it's something that you might like to think about.
Do you have to have the cooperation of the ex-partner, the biological father, for that?
Ideally, but the court can dispense with consent in appropriate circumstances, depending on whether it considers that dispensing with consent is in the interests of the child. And what would concern me here is that a child is being brought up to think that somebody else is his father, and obviously the impact on the child. The other thing is that if he does go to court and if he does apply to see his son, the court has got a range of powers available to it because it'll have to take it terribly, terribly slowly so as not to confuse your child.
Well, so the child is 2.5 now, and you're saying you don't want to have to introduce who is essentially a complete stranger into their life.
Yeah, exactly. Lifestyle choices I don't actually agree with. I know for a fact that he's on drugs, he's been in a relationship with a minor, he doesn't have a job, and I just don't personally want to have to bring my son into that at all.
Sure. Well, I mean, obviously we couldn't comment, and we don't know any of those facts, so we couldn't comment on any of those sort of allegations. But the important thing is what's best for the child here.
Absolutely,
in the subject that we're discussing.
And I think the court would take this very slowly, very carefully, probably refer both of you to some sort of parenting meeting so that you can consider how to parent your child going forward if it's appropriate. But best of luck to that.
Yes.
But do think about adoption.
Good luck, Georgina.
OK, thank you very much.
Next up, Rick. Hello, Rick.
Oh, hiya.
Hiya.
Hi, Rick.
So you've got a 6-year-old daughter from a previous relationship that ended about 4 years ago.
That's right, yeah.
And you've regularly seen your daughter once a week and paid regular child maintenance every month at about £220.
That's right, yeah.
And for the past 3 to 4 months, the mother of your daughter has cut you off completely, giving no excuse or reason why.
That's right, yeah.
That's
OK.
painful.
Very painful, very unpleasant, and if you can't get her to agree to some sort of mediation to try and resolve this,
I have tried that, but she wouldn't agree to it.
She wouldn't agree. Fine. Well, issue an application to the court for contact. You'll find that the courts are very happy to deal with you as a litigant in person, so you don't need to incur legal fees. The court will probably refer both of you to a parenting meeting for counselling about how to go forward.
Well, you've tried mediation, haven't you?
I've tried mediation. I think what it was, ever since she got a new boyfriend, I've been sort of slowly been pushed out.
Have you thought about going to court, Rick?
Ever since then, it's been like she's had a name change from my surname to her sort of surname.
Well,
Such
she
little things all
can't.
building up.
Yeah.
You do need the permission of the court to do that. So you can certainly ask the court to look at that and change the surname back again. But also, if she won't agree to a contact order, and if an order is made, then the court also has lots of ways of enforcing the order, including a form of community service if she won't agree to it. So really, the advice there is you do need to go to court and you do need to get it sorted out.
Rick, have you thought about going to court?
But to be honest, I can't actually afford it, what with rent and bills, etc. Obviously, I'm not on a good wage, and the child maintenance is a big chunk out of my money every month as well.
Well, you can go yourself and you can act as a litigant in person. Your case isn't rocket science. The judges are very familiar with this type of case.
I think if I was watching that now, it would terrify me. I'd do act myself, a litigant in person. If I get it wrong, do I get saddled with enormous court costs? Or
No.
how does that work?
No.
How bright do you have to be with the law?
You don't have to be that bright. What you've got to be able to do is get your case over, which is exactly what you're doing. And in terms of being landed with the other side's costs, in children cases, that's extremely rare.
So what's his first step now? If he wants to do all of those things himself, go to court,
Go
but
to
hasn't
the
got that much to pay for.
Absolutely. Go to the local court, issue your application, and they will help you with the forms.
And if he went in, would they help him? If he said, I don't know how to do this, and they'll help him through all the paperwork?
My experience with the courts is that they're very helpful, the court staff, and they will help, yes. You can go on to the gov.uk website and download the application form, actually.
Yeah.
So that might save some time.
Also, the other thing was she would never let me have her overnight to stay because her child maintenance payments would go down.
And then, again, that's part of your application.
Right.
And if you do get overnight staying, it might affect child support, it might reduce it.
Yes, which is why she's saying that she doesn't want him to do that.
Well,
so she's using
allowed me to let her stay over, you see.
Without knowing much about your case, it does seem like the child is being used as something of a weapon here.
Yeah.
The court is interested in what's in the best interests of the child, and having two parents parenting a child is generally in the best interests of that child.
Good luck, Rick.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck, Rick. Camille is our next caller. Now, you're slightly different because you're a grandparent, aren't you, Camille? And you would like to know what rights grandparents have to see their grandchildren.
Yes. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My case is a little bit different because my son was killed 6 years ago, and I didn't see my grandson for a year now. I raised my son since he was 1 month, and I tried to do mediation, and I couldn't. I don't know what steps to take because to go to court is very expensive, and I cannot afford it.
Well, I'll just reiterate a little bit of your points there, just to make it a little bit clearer. So she says that her son was killed in 2006. She raised her grandson until he was 20 months old, saw him regularly until Christmas last year. Since then, his mum refuses to reply to her messages, so I don't know how he is. She says that grandparents are left broken-hearted, but they're not seeing their grandchildren when you've invested so much emotion into them.
Well, I'd like to say that in my own family, grandparents are absolutely pivotal to the whole of our family. And so I'm absolutely a supporter of grandparents. Have you seen the website Grandparents Association? Because that's a very helpful website. You can make...
Yes.
Yeah, well, you can make an application to the court. It's a twofold application, but in practice it's dealt with as one. One is for permission to make the application, and second is for the application itself to be heard. But it's usually dealt with together. And you can go along and ask for contact to your grandchildren, and the very best of luck to you.
So you can say how long you would like...
The problem is that I don't want to scare her away. You know, my grandson's mom. I don't want to scare her away because then she could leave the country and I will never find my grandson again.
Well, it's...
Is there any communication between you at all?
No, because every message I send or every email I send, there is no reply whatsoever.
Well, do speak to somebody at the Grandparents Association. They've got lots of arguments available to try and persuade people to try and sort it out. That would be, I would suggest, your first port of call after this programme.
And maybe someone to help, formulate some sort of a letter or communication as well, and to
Absolutely.
drop that round and say,
Yes.
look, let's
I letters, and I told her that we miss our grandson very much. She didn't reply.
That's heartbreaking, isn't it?
It's very sad.
Okay, well, give that a try and see if you can get help there.
Thank
Best
you very
of
much.
luck,
All right, thank
Camille.
you, and the very best of luck, Camille.
Best of luck. Thank you,
Thanks,
Marilyn.
Marilyn.
It's a great pleasure.
There's information on the website if you need any help, and also Marilyn will be offering advice to those who didn't get through on her blog. More details on ITV this morning, itv.com/this morning.
That's the one. After the break, the Hobbit making a hobby out of wild things. Lost star Dominic Monaghan is here next.